Hello everyone and welcome back to lesson number 18 today. Today's boxing lesson is going to be about how to fight as the shorter opponent or how to fight a taller opponent. Okay, so I just got this idea for this video because I just got a DM on Instagram of someone asking me how to spar someone in their gym that's a lot taller than them. So I'm going to be covering that today. Before we start, I'm just going to throw on my gloves and we'll get right into it. Now I will be making a video about how to fight as the taller opponent, but for today we're going to be talking about as the shorter opponent. And because I was always shorter than the people I fought because I was heavier and shorter, so this is something that I love to talk about and teach. So I'm going to be showing you guys that today. Okay, now how do you fight someone that is taller than you? Well, first of all, we're going to talk about what advantages they have over you, and we're going to talk about taking every single advantage away from them and turning them into your own advantage. Okay, first things first is if someone's 2 inches taller than me or 10 inches taller than me, I always become shorter. I call it shrinking. Okay, and the reason you do this is because if I'm the taller opponent fighting my shorter opponent, say their head is here. If their head is here, I could just pop them all night long. If they're standing tall, just keep popping them, keeping them away, right? Now, if my shorter opponent is smart and they get shorter, okay, what's going to happen to my punches and my own defense is I'm going to start punching down. Now, my hands are spending a lot more time away from my face, and now I'm a lot more open for punches, okay? So as the shorter opponent, the first thing you have to do is don't stand tall. You got to get short, okay? I call it shrinking. I like putting a new shirt in the dryer, a cotton shirt, and it shrinks. So this is your original stance. This is my stance right now. I'm a lot more lower, and that's how I go about that. Okay, that's the first thing I do when I meet someone taller than me in the ring, right? Now, this isn't always the case because there are some taller fighters that don't know how to use their reach, so you can stand tall, but we're talking about high level here. So we're going to assume that they know how to use their height, and we're going to go off that. Okay? The second thing is I'm going to move my head. So I'm low here, and I'm moving my head, I'm moving my feet, and I'm moving around. Okay? Why do I do that? I want to make myself a harder target. Now, not only are they punching low at me, but now they got to actually try to find me, and that's going to keep them open for punches a lot longer, and it's going to make it harder for them to be more relaxed. Okay? The thing you want to take away from a taller fighter is relaxation. Taller fighters are really good at being relaxed and just keeping you away, like Lennox Lewis, Muhammad Ali, and those guys. You want to make them feel claustrophobic kind of in the ring or unsure what your next move is going to be, and that's what you want to do. Now, I want you to think about shorter fighters, say Joe Frazier, Rocky Marciano. Who's the other fighters that fought short? Can't think of too many right now, but those two they got a lot shorter than their taller opponents, and their opponents were scared to punch down at them, and they were scared about what's going to come back up at them. So what Rocky Marciano was really good at is he knew how to get low and then come up with his punches. Now it's very scary for a tall fighter to see those punches coming and to think about them and anticipate them, right? So that's another thing is as you are short, you want to come up with your punches, and it makes it that much scary for your taller opponent to deal with them. All right? Now, we got shorter. We're moving our head. We're coming up with punches. But before we come up with punches, another thing about fighting a taller opponent is forget the head. Okay? Now, when I fight a taller guy, my eyes are down here, and I'm only looking at their chest and stomach. I don't even care what their head is doing, okay? So think if the bag's head is here, and I'm the shorter opponent, I'm not even looking up there. All my straight punches are going straight to the body, okay? Same thing how I'd fight someone my height with my jab and right hand. Instead of going boom, that's how I'm fighting the taller opponent. Okay, I don't care about their head. Their head doesn't even exist until a couple of rounds later. All right. Now, you don't want to just throw one punch to the body and then go to the head, because they'll know what kind of game you're doing, trying to bring their hands down, come up. You want to pretend you do not see their face. You only focus on their body. That way they really start focusing on their body. Then after 2 rounds, 3 rounds, now you start mixing up headshots, and now you have a better chance of landing them. Okay? So that's the second thing. Or the third thing is, I'm not focused on their head, I'm focused on their body. Because an advantage for a taller opponent is a shorter fighter reaching to get their head and then them countering them. So you want to take that advantage and turn it into your own advantage. You do not want to throw punches at their head. Okay? Now this differs from height to height. If someone's way taller than me, I'll follow this closely. If someone's a little bit taller than me, I could still get their head. I will. But if there's a considerable height difference, only going to the body. Straight punches only to the body. Okay? Now, if I do want to start throwing head punches, what I'm going to do is I'm going to punch up. I'm not going to stand shoulder level with my punch. So I'm here. I'm going to punch up. Okay? You see how my punches are going at an upwards angle? This way, when I do punch, I'm still protecting my head. The other thing is I'm trying to bounce their head up. Think how an uppercut pushes someone's head up. I'm trying to do that with my straight punches coming up. So when their head is like that, right? So when I come in with the right hand, boom, then I could start ripping the body shots, and now their body's going to be open because they're going to be like this. Okay? That's the fourth thing I want to do, is punch up at them, not straight. Now, see how you're slowly taking their advantage and taking away from them. Okay? Now, what's a taller fighter's best weapon, or their most common weapon? It's the long jab to keep you away, right? Now, their jab, you really want to start timing it, and you really want to catch it and slip it. Catch and slip and block. Don't let them get off with a jab. Forget about their right hand. Forget about their hook. Focus on taking away their jab. When you take away their jab, they're pretty much useless, because now they got to fight you in close. They're not going to keep you away with the right hand. So take away their jab in the opening rounds. Focus on catching, parrying, blocking, and slipping. Most importantly, slipping, because you want to slip to get through. So if my opponent is jabbing at me, I'm catching, I'm parrying, I'm slipping. So now when they jab again, I parry. What am I going to do? I'm not going to jab their head, jab their body. Okay? It's been a few rounds. I have their timing of their jab down. They jab. I slip with the right hand to the body. Okay? After slipping, blocking, catching, parrying their jabs, I start countering them. Okay? And same way you would counter the head, you would just do that to the body. So you slip and bang to the body. You slip and bang to the body. Don't jab at their head. It's useless if they're really tall. Okay, now we did that, and now I forgot my next point that I wanted to say. Let me think about it for a second. Oh yeah, the biggest thing that you hear in every gym when you're sparring or fighting is you gotta close the distance. As a shorter fighter, you have to close the distance. I do agree with this sometimes, but I don't really agree with it, because cutting the distance can happen both ways, and I'll show you guys here. Cutting the distance could happen by me getting closer to the bag. Cutting the distance could happen by the bag getting closer to me. So cutting the distance can happen by the shorter fighter getting closer to the taller opponent, or cutting the distance can happen by the taller opponent getting closer to the shorter opponent, right? Now there's a misconception in a lot of shorter fighters' heads. It's they have to close the distance and they always have to be attacking. Right? Now this does work for most of the time. That's why this is a big thing. But the other thing is if you're not attacking, your opponent has to attack. Right? So what I like to do as a shorter fighter sometimes is me moving back and letting the taller opponent come at me. So when they come at me, they're closing the distance. Now when they step in, I could slip and hit them with the jab to the body. Or I could slip and hit them with the right hand to the body, because they're doing the distance closing for me, not me having to always do it for them. Okay? So try that out sometimes in sparring. You don't always have to be the aggressive guy moving forward, slipping and doing all that to close a distance. Take a step back, let them come at you, and then you step in and use their momentum against them. Okay? So that's another thing I want you guys to try in sparring is you don't always be the aggressor. Let them close the distance for you. That's a really big thing. If you watch Chris Bird versus a lot of fighters, taller heavyweights, he fights like that. If you watch Montel Griffin, he fights like that. He's the shorter guy, but he's not moving in. He's the shorter guy, but he's taking steps back. He's letting the tall opponent come at him, and then he's countering them, and he's catching them because they're closing the distance for them. Okay, so short, tall. The shorter fighter could get closer to the taller fighter. The taller fighter could get shorter to the closer to the shorter fighter. The shorter fighter doesn't always have to do the chasing. Now, those are my principles for fighting taller opponents. Now, not always is a tall opponent gonna have an advantage over you. Some taller opponents might have short arms and long legs. Some short fighters might have long reaches but just short bodies. Like say Marvin Hagler, he had a long reach, I believe, but he had a shorter body. So you don't always have to fight taller opponents this way, but this is usually how it goes. Some fighters have really long legs and short upper bodies, so that they don't have the same reach that a normal tall fighter might have. These are just my basic thoughts and practices of fighting a taller opponent. I never stand tall with them. I always get shorter. I shrink. I don't always attack them. I let them attack sometimes. I focus on their body with straight punches. I don't care about their face until later on. I move my feet around them. That's another point, is taller opponents usually don't have the best footwork, especially when it comes to switching direction and turning. What I like to do against a really tall opponent is move around them a lot, circle them, side to side around them, step in, step out, step around them, and really make them turn and change direction. A lot of taller fighters tend to be clumsy, or they're not clumsy, but they're not used to the foot speed of a shorter fighter. So when you're the shorter person and you're really moving your feet around them, they get tangled up a little bit. Then you find some openings and step out. So you want to get them to tangle their feet a little bit. That's another thing I like doing in the opening round. But staying short, focusing on straight punches to the body, and then hooks. There's a misconception when they say short fighters should throw to the body. They think hooks and uppercuts to the body. It means straight punches to the body that you would normally throw to the head. You could still throw the hooks and uppercuts to the body, but you're focusing on straight punches too in the beginning, because it's going to be really hard to throw a hook to the body. Don't always chase them. Let them chase you. Focus on taking away their jab. Their jab is their first line of defense. Take that away from them. Slip it, parry it, catch it, block it, learn their timing, and then take it away, and then counter them with it, counter them to the body, and then you can start countering the head. What else? Punch as you come up, so don't come up here. So if I'm low, I'm not going to stand up and then punch. When I'm low, I'm gonna come up and punch, and then get back low, okay, like Rocky Marciano. You want to do that. And those are the basics of sparring someone or fighting someone taller than you, okay? Don't stand at your regular height. Take away every advantage you could think that they have over you, turn it against them, and use it against them, okay? If they have the reach advantage, get shorter, make them punch low. If you want to come up with the punches so they don't know what to expect, so I might be here, I might come up with the overhand right or a hook to the head. Now they're thinking about those punches. Now when I'm down here, I could go hook to the body or right hook to the body. So you want to take that advantage of them, off of them. Take away the advantage of always letting them counter you. You take a couple steps back sometimes, let them attack you, and you counter them, because they're going to close the distance for you. And I want you guys to think like that. So think of any advantage that your opponent may have over you, and think about how you could switch it and make it into your own favor. All right? I know it's really intimidating to fight a taller fighter because they look bigger. But trust me, from fighting a lot of different sizes, I like being the shorter fighter now. I don't like being the taller fighter, because when you're the taller fighter, there's a lot more work you have to do to stay safe in the ring. When you're the shorter fighter, you have a lot more advantages than the taller opponent. So think of it that way. Don't think that you're in disadvantage. And yeah, I want you guys to go about boxing like that. Any opponent you may have in sparring or in a fight, or in sparring mostly because you're going to spar them often, think about all the advantages they have over you and take that away from them. All right? So that's today's lesson, is how to fight as the shorter fighter. Now, I know I'm not saying every single detail about being the shorter fighter, so if you have any specific punches or specific things that you're getting caught with, or specific questions, leave that in the comment of this video, so when I make another video, a follow-up one about this, I could better answer that. But I just wanted to make this video to give you guys some tips to feel more secure in the ring against a taller fighter, and how to flip their advantages into disadvantages. Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Maybe next time I'll do a video about being the taller opponent versus the shorter opponent, because I got a lot to say about that one too. But other than that, thank you for watching, and bye.